Hey everyone, welcome to Simplilearn. Today, we will learn the differences between where versus having in SQL. That said, if these are the type of videos you'd like to watch, then hit that like and subscribe buttons and the bell icons to get notified. Between having and where. So first, we will understand what exactly is a where clause in SQL. So where clause is used along row level filtering of datasets. So before we get started, both where and having are like filters. Let's say you're working on an Excel spreadsheet and you have an employee data set. So there are various departments, maybe IT, development, testing, etc. Right? So in the same way, if you wanted to filter out all the employees from IT department alone, you would apply a filter on Excel, right? Filter employees which are working in or who are working in IT department. So similarly, in SQL, you expect the IDE or you expect the database to give you a filtered data via your query. So in such situations, the query will have where clause and having clause. So the main difference between where clause and having is, so if you wanted to group the data in terms of categories, right? If you wanted to segregate the data in terms of categories, you will have to use having clause for that. When the data is segregated in terms of categories and you wanted to extract a specific part, then you will be using having, and you will also use having in place of aggregate functions. Let's say your SQL query has some aggregate functions, let's say count the number of employees in particular department, then having clause will be your choice, not where. So where works like a row level filter. It checks each and every filter in individual rows and only gives you the only returns you the values in row levels. If you want to use count or any other aggregate functions along with where, it might not work. So that's the fundamental difference. Similarly, having is also a filter which is used along with aggregate functions and category level filtering of datasets, just as we discussed before. But to make things clear, let's check out a demo and that might help you out a little better. So let's get back to MySQL Workbench. So right now we are on MySQL Workbench and you can create a new database and use that database. So I have created a database called SLP and then I'm using SLP database. I've created a normal or simple employee database, just as the example we discussed in the PPT part. So I'm having employee ID, name, age, department, salary, and here I'm inserting some random values, let's say on 2025 values into the table. Now here we have a clause with where, right? I mean, here we have a query with where clause. So in rows, wherever the department is equals to IT, give me the table. So I'll run this particular query. So wherever the department is IT, it is giving me a table of employees who are working in IT department. Now, if I want to use count of, let's say, an aggregate function, count department, the query will not work. Although you can find that there are no errors, but when you try to run it, the workbench throws you an error, right? So where clause cannot execute aggregate functions along with it. Now let's try to not include any aggregate functions with it. Now here I have another query which does have aggregate functions and we are grouping it by department, and in such situations you can get the query done because we have replaced where with having. Now let's try to execute this query. There you go. Now the departments are being categorized and we want the values which are only working in IT department, right? So we are counting the number of people in IT and that's where you got it. So that's the fundamental. So where is like a row level filter where it will select the values from rows which have the given condition satisfied. And if you want to into categories, say department wise categories, salary wise categories, And yeah, again, if you want to give a condition, let's say salary greater than certain value, in such situations, you can use where. But if you want to extract the data along with the categories and along with the given condition of salaries greater than certain value, then having is your friend. So that's how you can work with where and having. So those are the fundamental differences between where clause and a having clause. So with that, we have come to the end of this session on the differences between where and having. If you have any queries regarding any of the topics covered in this session, or if you require the code or any other resource that we have used in this session, please feel free to let us know in the comment section below, and our team of experts will be happy to help you as soon as possible. Until next time, thank you for watching and stay tuned for more from Simplilearn.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.